Thank you, my friends. Thank you, my friend. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Michael. Welcome to Healing Momentum. And today we're going to focus on 4 powerful ways that mirroring practice can help heal your life in your personal life, your relationships, at work, as a leader. Mirroring is a very, very powerful practice that can really help you in many, many, many ways. Now, forgive me, I'm still a little new at working with live streams, so let me know in the chat if you have any issues with anything technically. I'll keep working on it. I got my microphone right here, and let's just rock it and see how it goes. So, welcome. Okay, so mirroring is this practice. It's a practice of communication that helps us move up the emotional scale. It's focusing on getting really, really clear in our sending, really clear in our receiving. And when I practice with clients, mirroring is really about having them mirror back to me what they just heard. So maybe it's something about offering them an affirmation. So you could mirror this back to me right now out loud. Michael is my collaborator. Just mirror that back out loud with me so we're practicing. And he's very excited to be here with me right now. Mirror that back. So this is interactive practice that helps us to slow down communication, not talk over each other, to organize our thoughts and really connect in a very harmonic way to each person feeling connected to their authenticity, being able to speak almost in a musical way with a very focused, organized practice, a systematic way of getting out of the typical everyday communication, and also to get beyond emotionally reactive patterns so we really hear what's going on, we reveal what our feelings are, and we really come into emotions that allow us to clear negativity, connect to authenticity, move through changes, shift our relationships, shift our attitude, and feel really connected to ourselves, feel very clear, and feel like we're on a healing path. So I've got my little list here to remind myself of 4 powerful ways. There's many, many more ways than this, but we're going to just kind of work on these 4 today and practice some mirroring with me in a way that, right now in the live stream, that you'll be able to engage with me and get a sense of the practice, because I'm practicing with you. Maybe, you've seen before other videos where they're doing Reiki sessions, things of that nature, where healing practitioners are online and they are demonstrating to you their art. It's as if they're doing it with you. Now, I obviously cannot put my hands on your body, but what I can do is demonstrate mirroring so you can engage with me and feel a sense of this emotional movement that comes from mirroring. So let's talk about these 4 ways. So here is the first one. The first way that mirroring helps heal your life is because it calms your mind. I have many kinds of clients. I work mostly with personal healing clients. I also work with professional development clients and leaders. One way or the other, mirroring is about our communication and our relationships. And how many of us get stuck into emotionally reactive patterns with all kinds of situations, with our parents, with our children, with our coworkers, with friends. And we go into places where our mind gets really, really confused or overloaded and flooded. And for a lot of the people that I work with, you're dealing with people who have issues like adult ADHD or schizophrenia, people who have sleep disorders, people who have bipolar, depression, all kinds of things emotionally that are going on for us. What I've noticed is that those chronic mood disorders lead to these emotional patterns within us that are very dominant. You look at the name of the channel is Healing Momentum. When an emotion has momentum, as if it's going downhill, okay, when an emotion has momentum, it has us. If we are triggered into anger, and that anger has momentum, that it has a force, then that emotion has us. That emotion is leading our life. That emotion is causing us to be contained. Let me say that better. That emotion that may be dominant contains only a certain level of thinking. And say if we're stuck in anger or triggered into frustration or triggered into anxiety, that limits our amount of thinking, and that causes stress, and it causes stressful thinking. If we're in anger, we can only contain thoughts that are a fit for that anger. And this does not allow for calm. This does not allow us to access what I like to refer as the forest. I live here in Arcata, California. It's way north, up north in the Redwoods, and I live about a mile away from Redwood Park. And whenever I go to Redwood Park, I can feel that profound sense of deep calm. It's as if the park itself, that calm is the momentum happening inside the forest. So I know if I go to the forest, that the forest is a container of calm feeling, but also calm thinking. Now, mirroring will get us there, or at least mirroring, the practice of mirroring will take us beyond anxious thoughts, will take us beyond angry thoughts, will take us beyond stuck thoughts. That, say, people who have ADHD know all about this, where, I have some clients who come into their sessions on Zoom and they're just fritzy and confused and lost and overwhelmed, and they can't think straight. They're not the only ones going through this. There are people, all of us go through this on one level or another. But the reason why we're going through this, the core basic reason, there's certainly biological things that may be happening with people with chronic conditions. But what I'm focusing on is the emotional condition. So if the emotional condition is one that is lacking calm, then our thoughts will not be calm. So when we practice mirroring with a partner, that calms our mind. It allows us to just kind of forget about, set aside any of that confusion, set aside any of that reactivity, and focus on the words that are being said. So let's do a little bit of an example here. Let's see how this lands on you and see where this takes you in the practice. So what I'm going to do is offer you some affirmations as your collaborator, and you want to mirror them back out loud. I know I can't be with you. I'm not out there through the screen, but you could practice with me and see if the mirroring of these affirmations moves your energy up the scale into a calmer mind. So let's practice some mirroring focused on that key concept of calming the mind using mirroring. Okay, so mirror this back. Say it back to me out loud. When I do this, it means mirror this back. Michael is my collaborator. Mirror that back. And he's here to help. He appreciates that I am practicing with him. And he values me for being here right now. If I'm watching this video right now, then this practice is probably important to me. If I'm watching this video right now, then I must be made of some substance. Simply by practicing with Michael, I can slow down. I can take a breath, and I can come back to myself. Excellent. Terrific. Now, that was just a basic practice. And part of what I was doing is offer you affirmations to appreciate you. I'm very happy you're here. I'm very happy you're watching. I'd love it if you subscribe to the channel. I'd love it if you watch the other videos in the channel. The key thing is that we're calming the mind. And the way we're calming the mind is, one, you don't have to think. You don't have to come up with anything. All you have to do is focus on my words. You go into receiving mode. It's one of the core things about mirroring. So we're working with this basic interplay of sending and receiving. You don't have to think, oh, what am I going to say now? No, I'm offering you the affirmations. I'm asking you to mirror them back as you hear them. And in so doing, your mind is just focusing on what I'm saying, the words I'm saying. And that moves you out of any kind of conflict, any kind of need to compete, any kind of need to prove yourself. You're just focusing on the words that you're hearing, mirroring them back. And that focus, that not only allows your mind to kind of say, oh, okay, I don't have to think about anything else other than those words. That in itself is soothing. But it allows you to be connected to your partner. In this case, your partner is me. So mirroring is something that is a collaborative process. The practice of mirroring lets you feel connected to me through my words, through my energy, through the pace, and because you don't have to come up with anything. You just have to hear the words and voice them back. In fact, it's great for me to know that you're doing this because I know my words are being mirrored, that I'm landing on you. This is a very, very subtle, simple, but powerful practice to do. And if you continue to do this, you could look at the other videos on the channel. You could work with me. You could see in the description section how to do an intro session with me on Zoom, get a sense of it, and really feel, oh, okay, this is an avenue for all this stuff in my head that's roaming around, all these projects I have going on, or all these relationships, or all these frustrations, where just the practice of listening to my partner's words will help me to slow down and calm my mind. So for those of you who are watching this and practicing with me so far, feel free to leave a comment in the chat, or feel free to connect with me in some way. I could hear how this is landing on you so far. It's collaborative. I want to know your experience. Okay, great. Let's do number 2. So number 2 is it organizes your thinking. Okay. So mirroring is like this very simple microcosm of all our relationships. What we're doing is by engaging in mirroring, and one of the first things is we want to ask, hey, are you open to mirroring with me right now? We're asking permission so that we enter this different container. It's not normal communication. It's not typical day-to-day communication. It's not busy communication. Can you do this for me at work? It's not reactive communication, people-pleasing, withdrawing, criticizing, cynicism, all of those things that take us down a path that we really don't want to be going on. Okay, so with mirroring, we're really focusing on sending and receiving. So think about with good sending, we want to be aware, how am I landing? Before I communicate to my partner, when I say partner, sure, it could be romantic partner, but partner is really anybody that is in front of you. Your partner can be your boss. Your partner can be the person at the grocery store. The person in front of you is your partner. They are an entire universe to themselves. So if you think about how do I want to land on my partner, a good send comes from mindfulness, consciousness. Before I communicate, let me step into my own energy. Let me release any of my negativity, and let me focus on how I want this to land. Hey, sometimes we want to land a punch. We have to. We need to be able to, if people hurt us, we want to not hurt them back, but we want to be able to step up for ourselves. We want to stand up for ourselves. That requires mindfulness to know this is a moment where I need to say, I felt anger. So there's a kind of a mindfulness in that send, where instead of you saying things like you always and you never, where there's blame, anger is not blame. If you're able to communicate, I feel angry, you're owning it, you're speaking truthfully, and you're landing on your partner in a way where they don't have to be afraid of you, but that what's true for you can land on them, where they can sense, oh, my partner is not overwhelming me. My partner's not trying to get me back. My partner is telling me their truth about their feelings. So sending is really about this consciousness. If I'm a very unimportant interaction, like I said, at the grocery store, perhaps, I'm not going to get lost in my texting, and I'm not going to get lost in my credit cards and my money cards. I'm going to notice the person in front of me. They're also my partner. Every time I send, I am creating my life. So whoever is in front of me, whoever is my partner, and in this case, you are my partner, I want to land well. I want to land in a way where I am representing myself, but I am conscious and mindful of the person in front of me. So let's do some mirroring about good sending in a way where it organizes. My mind is getting organized in how I want to land. So mirror some of these things back. So Michael is my collaborator. Mirror that back. And he's being very mindful of how he sends. He wants to land as helpful. He wants to land as knowledgeable. And he wants to land that he's taking me seriously. He might not know everything that I'm going through. But he's experienced with this work. He knows I have struggles. He knows I have difficult relationships with some people. He knows that there are times where I get confused and angry. And he wants to land in a way where he shows he's aware of me. He wants to land in a way where he shows I'm important. He wants me to know that he wants me to know that he's taking my situation seriously. And he hopes to connect with me more. Terrific. Take a breath into that. Good practice of mirroring so far. Again, how is this landing on you? Let me know. Communicate back with me in the comments. What's coming up for you? Is this working? Do you have questions? How do I do any of it? I want to hear it. You're important to me. So the other part of mirroring, the main part, sending, there's sending, which I'm showing you. I gave you a good focused send. I was organizing my thinking. I want to make sure, how am I landing? I want to show them you're important. I want to show them I might not see you, but I have an idea of what you're going through, and I want to land in that way. I want to show you my concern and my desire to help. That was my consciousness in how I land. And because of mirroring, of taking that slower pace, waiting for the other person to mirror back, I had to get focused in my thinking. So I'm organizing my thoughts before I communicate. The other side of the coin is receiving. Receiving is a whole other wonderful practice. And receiving organizes our thoughts in many, many ways. But one of the key things about receiving is we contain our energy. So instead of jumping in, me too, oh, did you go away this weekend? Oh, I went away this weekend. Right away, there's this competition in our communication. So before I say, oh yeah, I went away this weekend too, or I also saw this movie, or I'm better, or I'm worse, or I'm not good enough, or I'm, any of those things that are going on, I'm going to organize myself, organize my thinking, and maybe go into receiving mode. And I might tell myself, okay, in this moment, this is a time not to send. This is a time for me to be receiving. So if I go into receiving mode, I'm off the hook. I don't have to add anything. I could really focus on your words. I could really focus on your energy. And I can contain myself. So I may have all kinds of things that I want to say, but I might not say them because I'm going into receiving mode. So I could take all of my stuff, all of my issues, or all of my thoughts, and just temporarily set them aside, put them in another room in my psychological house, and allow myself to be mindful, to organize my thinking, setting myself stuff aside, and focusing on you and your words. This takes practice, my friend. This is not so easy to do. It takes years to really get this, even though it takes a moment to have an energetic shift. So receiving is another way where we can experience a healing by organizing our thinking. And really with receiving, it's like setting all your thinking aside and focusing on the words and energy of your partner. This is a powerful tool to use. And ultimately, this shifts your entire energy. Oh, look, I threw my little jade up the scale. It focuses, the focusing of receiving naturally moves you closer to the energy of the forest. You don't have to think, you don't have to compete, and it calms yourself, and it lets you to sort of allow the energy interchange instead of feeling like I need to do something. And that's very, very healing to do with all your relationships. That organizing into receptive mode allows the energy in all these relationships to move up the scale. That's a very, very healing thing to do. Terrific. Number 3. Oh, this is good. Mirroring helps you feel seen. Oh, this goes very deep. I might take in a session with a client collaborator, I might say to them, hey, whatever you just said right there, let's press pause. So say they might have said, I really struggle with my father-in-law, something like that. Okay, so instead of us analyzing it, instead of us saying, well, tell me about all these different things about it, I might just stop and say, hey, can we do some mirroring about that? And offer them back their own words. So I might say to them, okay, mirror this back. And as if I'm talking to the client, I might say, have them mirror this. I struggle with my father-in-law. And they'd mirror it. My father-in-law, it has always been difficult for me. And then they mirror that back. It's really hard for me to speak with him. Again, they mirror that back. I don't even know what to do. Mirroring. And this goes back all the way back for decades. What this does, when we practice mirroring, again, it's not like you would do this all the time in, every single relationship, every single partner in your life is ready for you to do this engaged, focused practice. This is really about coaching, learning the coaching and integrating it into your daily life and integrating it into yourself. But when I ask someone permission to practice mirroring with me, and then I offer them back their own words, they're not the one who's holding on to the issue. They're being shown, Michael heard me. Michael's getting my words. Michael sees me. This is very, very powerful. And one of the reasons why it's powerful is because so many of us have gone through life with parents, employers, teachers, who have their own agenda about us, who are projecting their stuff onto us. I think you're this. You should be a that. And not really seeing us, not really seeing our essence. With mirroring, it's so powerful and so simple to see somebody because you can offer them back their words. You could tell a friend, hey, what you just said is so big. I would like to mirror that back. Are you okay if I just show you that what I heard? Because when you do that, when you ask permission and you say, I want to mirror that back, what you're doing is saying, you're landing on me, I'm processing you, I'm taking you in, and I want to say your words back to you, because then I know, one, you'll feel seen. Two, that's me giving you a gift. So that's good for both of us. We really feel good about that. Okay. And three, I know I'm processing. What you just shared was big. So I want to make sure that you see that I am noticing you, I am hearing you, I am seeing you. And just asking permission to go into that container of practice and say, this is what I heard you say. That little sentence stem, this is what I heard you say. That shifts everything. So instead of the person having to hold on to whatever issues and emotions that they have that might be frustrating, the person can relax. Your partner can go into a calmer state, and then they're telling themselves, I feel seen, I feel heard. So let's try a little bit of mirroring about this topic. We could go into this because this goes all the way back to childhood, and that's where it becomes amazingly healing with the interchanges that we have in a coaching session. So mirror this back to practice. It's really good to feel seen. Mirror that. It's really good to feel heard. When someone mirrors back my words, I know they're listening to the real me. I might not have had enough of this in my life. So when I engage in these practices, I feel seen. I feel connected to something deep inside. And my emotions move up the scale. Excellent, excellent, excellent. We're doing great. Doing great. Again, there's lots more we can say about that. There's other videos on the channel. You can connect with me and try a Zoom session. All kinds of options for you so that you could go farther with this work and really heal your life. And not just heal your life, this is also something for leaders to connect to themselves and understand what's happening in the dynamics with those who report to them, to change the entire environment of an organization because they engage with mirroring now, which is a great way to process any kind of negativity that's going on inside an organization. Just I could say so much about that, but I hope leaders really take to heart what mirroring can be for them. All right, number 4, and then we'll conclude. You hear your intuition. When I feel heard, when I'm practicing mirroring, a lot of what happens is I feel like I'm being given permission to say what I need to say, or I'm being given permission to communicate difficult emotions in a way where it's safe and where it's a practice, where it's a system. I don't have to deal with what do I do? What do I say? No, there's a system here. And the system allows me to clear negative emotions. And then there are going to be some times in a session where that might lead to some tears, or that might lead to a feeling of anger that's been bottled up and it's released. When we release these emotions through the practice of mirroring, when that clearing happens, there's more below the surface. That clarity that comes to us allows us to access a deeper sense of self. It's as if we can begin to see and realize when I'm in a difficult space, when I'm in that confused, angry, frustrated, reactive space, I can't access what's really there below the surface. So through the practice of mirroring, there's a powerful clearing. The difficult emotions are processed through the system of the mirroring. And then what happens? That calm starts developing, that awareness deepens, and a sense of truth. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's what it really is for me. Wow, you really heard me. and now you're sensing what's true for me. When a person gets to that point in mirroring, they can get to a sense of going, that's really what I'm about. I couldn't access these feelings before. But now that I've cleared through the practice of mirroring, now that I felt like I've been heard and been seen, my mind is calmer. I'm organizing my thinking through the sending and receiving that's happening with Michael. I realize there's more to me below the surface. And when we sense those clearings, that authenticity, that inner quiet, that depth, we have knowing, and that knowing carries us forward. It presents itself, it manifests itself in truth and beauty and goodness for others. So this practice gets us to that place where we're the non-physical sides of ourselves, the non-complicated sides of our thinking get cleared, and the deeper sense of ourself is able to be expressed, connected to, and lead us into creating change. So let's do a couple of mirroring affirmations about this. Michael is my collaborator, and he knows that I go into negative places sometimes. He knows that sometimes I can't get out of the way of my own emotions. Through mirroring, I can clear these difficult emotions. Through mirroring, I could feel a deeper calm from within. That clarity connects me to my depth. When I hear what's true for me, I connect to a reservoir of true energy. I connect to a reservoir of my own intuition. This practice allows me to trust myself. This practice allows me to hear my truth. And when I hear my truth, I could make good decisions. And I could trust myself very deeply. Very, very, very good. Very, very, very good. So we went through the 4. Calm your mind, organize your thinking, help you feel seen. Excellent. Terrific, terrific, terrific. So let's close up. What I'm going to do, first of all, again, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. The live streams are recorded, and then they're left up on the channel, so you can take a look at some of them. And these are great because I go longer on the live streams, like 20, 30 minutes. The other videos, the main videos, are usually about 5 to 8 minutes long. They're all wonderful. The regular videos take you out into nature out here in California, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So I try to do the mirroring either in nature or weave in images of nature. It's very, very healing. But anyway, good job for now. Please subscribe to the channel. Please watch some of the other videos. Consider, hey, maybe I want to go further with this. Maybe I want to really heal my relationships or heal what I'm going through. This might be of value to me. If so, I ask you to consider try an intro session with me. Just click the link in the description section. It'll take you to my site. Fill out the form. I'll get the inquiry. I'll write you back. We set up a time. There is a cost for it right now, but I try to make the intro session inexpensive. And then we go from there. Maybe you want to do more. Maybe you just wanted that experience with me. It's all good. This is also for leaders. Really, really want to unpack leaders, people who are in charge of groups, people who have employees, people who represent, larger organizations. You practice some of this, you're going to solve a lot of problems that you're unable to solve because you've been clouded in your mind with reactive patterns. Most problems I've found in professional situations are usually personal issues, relational issues that are spilling out onto the organization. Most organizations are family businesses. And so these family businesses have these family dynamics that are affecting everybody else that works there. You practice mirroring, you're going to get to the root of what's going on, connect to your intuition, create an entirely different environment where you work at. People will feel it. People will feel heard, feel seen, and the overall morale will go up the scale. One more thing that you could try is take a look at my book. Now, this book is called The Zen of Solo Travel, A Journey from Anxiety to Enlightenment. It's a wonderful book. I came out with it about 10 years ago. Now, it's not a book that's about teaching you how to mirror. It's a book about my journey to Japan, where I left everything behind. This is at the time in 2005, where I wasn't sure if I was ready to be a father or not. And I'm a huge fan that the road is the most powerful psychotherapist out there, that our journeys awaken us to our souls and bring us to a new level of healing. I went all the way to Japan to just deal with myself and to disappear and go into an entirely new container of reality, which allowed me to clear my own issues. I was raised by a father who was paranoid schizophrenic. He took his life when I was 30. Really, really tough. So I was going through all kinds of stuff when I was married of like, I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I'm ready to heal this. I don't know if I can do this. So I left everything behind to go to Japan. And I had a moment in Japan where I discovered mirroring at a Zen rock garden, which was amazing. Where is the place? Here it is. Hold on. It's going to do a tiny little reading. Goodness, where will you survive in the belly of the whale? Sorry, guys. Hang on. I can't seem to find the thing that I was going to read to you. So maybe I'll just read something else. Sorry. I know where it is. Beginner's mind. Baba boo. Can your mind handle being alone? No, it's this one. All right. I'll just read you one line from the book and you could go on your own and see if you want it. The link for the book is in the description section, the zenofsolotravel.com. So this is really about saying yes to yourself. So hopefully this will be inspiring for you. Okay. So say yes to your adventure and jump into a river of motion. Let yourself drown in this waterfall of mystery. Let yourself swallow from the bottle labeled "Drink Me." You are the hero on this journey. You are the guest in this world. Say yes and let your waiter deliver to you an unforgettable feast. Well, I hope I was something of a waiter today in terms of spiritual, emotional growth, metaphysical healing, thinking, emotions, communication, and relationships. Mirroring is really a powerful, powerful tool to move us all beyond emotional reactivity. I hope you got something out of this. And connect with me for more. And I want to tell you, thank you for being here. You guys are great. People who are in the channel. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And we'll do more on the channel to give you more exercises about mirroring, healing, so you can move beyond reactivity into authenticity, into clarity, and create a sense of healing from within. Thank you, my friend. Bless your hearts. I will see you soon. Have a good day.